How did you feel? Oh, it's tough, man. I hope that one value play opens up. Like if there was one guy that was 3K tonight that was viable, I would already have the lineup. I wouldn't switch it at all. And honestly, it might be Josh Jackson. I don't think I can do that. Core 4 I gave out last night did good.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't get a chance to play last night.
Well, I mean, most of them were like, they were all like pretty safe plays though. So I mean, I wasn't like, oh, look how good I am. You know what I mean?
Well, Malik Beasley was actually pretty under-owned.
I know, dude. Oh my god.
I wish I would have played GPP's last night.
I only did $20 for GPPs. I didn't do a lot last night. I didn't have any time either. I'm exhausted.
So that answers my question. The music does skip the frames, so I'm going to have to do without that for now, unless I figure it out.
Skipping the frames. Are you skipping the frames? So... Is Gafford in or is Gaff? I can just sing, dude. That works, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know I have a good enough voice to, you know.
Are you gonna sing about the Bulls having every person questionable in their roster?
Chicago, what's going on? Why are you all questionable?
There you go. Perfect.
Hey, Gafford, are you playing? Zach, what about you?
American Idol's over, right? For the season, you have to try out next season.
My sister tried out for that as a joke.
Oh, really? As a joke?
Yeah, she made it past there's like, you have to get past like an absurd amount of rounds, like to even have the opportunity to go on TV and audition.
Yeah, I had an old
past the first audition or whatever, and then
I had an old friend that was a girl. Her sister actually tried out too. Seriously, and got cut.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of.
She's trash.
Yeah, she was trash.
Hey, you trash. You are trash.
We're live, right? Oh,
What?
I didn't say anything bad, did I?
All
right, we're good. Woo! 32 viewers to start, guys. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. My apologies for this weekend. My girlfriend's birthday was this weekend, so I did not know what I was going to do. Neither did she, so we decided to go out of town. So I do apologize, but we are back. I'm going to be doing a video every single day of the week starting next week, and we're going to be doing a live stream today. So we decided to get started early here just to go over the slate. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and quite frankly, I had to sit down and really crunch numbers for about an hour just because of all the trade news and taking people off the court that aren't showing on court IQ and all that good stuff. So kind of a headache to start, but we got it down. Luckily, there's no more crazy injury news that's come out since I've done so. But let's go ahead and dive right into it, TJ. What's going on? How was your weekend?
It was fine.
Good. I see you're wearing your Celtics jersey, so it can't be too bad.
The Celtics are on. I had to turn it off, though, because I got distracted.
Yeah. Clippers. Let's start there. Clippers without Kawhi. Yeah. Let's start right there. Without Kawhi, and they're without Bev. What's going on, guys? I didn't check the chat, but it's just blowing up. Beverly and Kawhi are out, so obviously, I mean, the most chalkiest guy in the slate with good reason is going to be Paul George, averaging 1.45 fantasy points per minute. Is that what it was? I have to go back and look. But he averages an absurd amount.
6'5".
6'5"?
Yeah, 165.
Yeah, 1.65. So without those guys on the court, he's in a very good smash spot. This is going to be an average spot for the Clippers. 117 is not too bad. So Paul George is going to be very chalky. I think everybody else on the slate, just because of their price tags and how many minutes, I was intrigued in Jermichael Green here, but he's only getting 21 minutes. Lou Will is projected at 26 right now, which is kind of interesting. What's your thoughts on this Clippers roster right now?
Yeah, so it's tough to gauge just because we're throwing Marcus Morris in the mix. So we don't really know what his minutes are going to be, what his rotation will be like. Right now, he's 6.4 projected at 32 minutes. I feel like he's a plug-in kind of guy, so you can throw him in for 30 minutes and he'll be able to, produce in the offense. So I think that's maybe why Lou's minutes are a little bit down. I mean, obviously, I understand they both don't play guard, but maybe more minutes going toward Marcus Morris, getting him acclimated. I'm not too sure. But the one guy that I'm locking in for sure, especially in cash, is Paul George, like you alluded to. 1.65 fantasy points per minute with Kawhi and Bev off the court. Gets a 4% usage bump at 8,100. Didn't play the last 10 minutes last night against Minnesota, so he didn't log too many minutes, so I don't expect him to be fatigued whatsoever. He only played 26. Yeah. So I expect him to carry a bulk of the load of the offense today against Cleveland, a pretty good matchup. So I'm definitely locking him in cash. He's one of my cash locks for tonight. But besides that, I really don't have any interest in this Clippers team. I'm definitely looking elsewhere. And you mentioned JaMychal Green. Again, it's tough to say with the Marcus Morris edition. So I'm probably going to take Paul George and run and kind of see how everything meshes together with Marcus Morris. But I could get behind JaMychal Green as a GPP play, but yeah, I'm not thinking anything else for cash, and I'll have some small exposures, but Paul George is my guy that I'm locking in for cash, and that's it.
So in conclusion, Paul George is not bad chalk. He's going to be good chalk. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, the numbers point to it. He doesn't have Kawhi. I expect him to be aggressive, so yeah, I would assume so. That'd be my guess.
I can agree with that. I'm not saying these other guys are bad GPP options. I'm just scared to really take a stance on any one of these guys. I mean, Marcus Morris in the picture, definitely scary with 32 minutes if he does get that amount. I wouldn't say he's a GPP option, just 6.4. If we know his production is about the same as what it was in New York, it should be a little bit better. But if it's anything like New York, I mean, 6.4 is priced accordingly, and it's a Cleveland roster. Again, it's an average spot. It's not anything crazy. So yeah, I think Paul George is the only guy I'm really looking at here for cash specifically and for GPPs. So all right, let's move on. Where do you want to go next?
Well, let's touch on Cleveland.
Okay, go ahead. Right over to Cleveland. Got it.
So obviously the matchup against Cleveland. Cleveland is running out their new toy, Andre Drummond. It'll be interesting to see how he fits playing alongside Kevin Love. I expect Tristan Thompson to now obviously resort to the backup role. So yeah, I mean, obviously I don't have any interest in any of these guys for cash, but I'm definitely interested to see how Drummond meshes with the Cavs, and kind of go from there. I'll definitely have some exposure to Drummond in GPPs because I feel like he'll definitely be under-owned. But yeah, I'm just more interested to see, what his role will look like. Obviously, he's projected at 33 minutes. I'm assuming he'll get the same amount of minutes as he was with Detroit. He's just a guy playing down low. They're not going to run, the offense won't facilitate through him, but they'll definitely get him some balls down on the block, let him go to work. So I'm just more interested to see what it looks like with Drummond, Kevin Love, Sexton, and so on. But yeah, I just wanted to touch base on that. Yeah, I don't have any interest in Cleveland, but I'll definitely have some exposure to Drummond and GPPs.
Well, Vegas likes Cleveland tonight. I think it's because of Drummond. I think Drummond's gonna, pick up the pace with that Cleveland team. I think he's gonna obviously be a good focal point for their offense, and really with these underpriced guards. I know we're gonna get a lot of questions on Cleveland with these guard play or with the guards here. I'm still not intrigued by these guys. I get that Kevin Porter's 27 minutes, but what is he on our sheet? 0.64 fantasy points per minute, something really low. Fantasy points per.
Yeah, he's not. You don't want to mess with him in cash.
Yeah, and I mean, it's showing a bad matchup. I know it's with Pat Bev. They're showing a defensive rank there at 3 for going against the Clippers there. But I mean, again, it's the same story. It's like if anybody's going to really benefit from this roster, it's going to be Drummond. It's not going to be the guard play. It's not like, yeah, sure, they'll get a couple assists here and there, but really what changes in this overall picture? Not too much. I mean, Drummond, creates offense by himself, or at least that's what he did in Detroit. It's not, he gets offensive putbacks. It's not really, he's not really a great pick and roll type guy. You have to have a spot up shooter for a good pick and roll big man like that. And Drummond's not that. I mean, he's going to be doing pick and rolls down low, but I mean, again, he's getting it from Reggie Jackson. He was getting it from D Rose. He's getting it from really, really good guards. He's not getting it here in Cleveland. So if I had to project, these guards and who's going to be a good GPP option, it's really tough. I would take the cheapest one, but again, I'm not really interested in Cleveland guards tonight, and I think, hearing you, I think you can agree with that.
I mean, you just disrespected Colin Sexton, but
I mean, Sexton at 6.5. I mean,
he's been playing really well. But no, I get what you're saying. But
yeah.
he's been super aggressive lately, so I think the tag fits him. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a point where there's better plays on the slate, and I'm not going to take a stab at these guys. If I had to take a stance on any one of these guys, I'm going to be looking at these cheaper guys. But anyway, that's my take on it. Miami, do you want to go there?
Yeah.
All right. So Miami is without Butler. They're without. All right, but let me back up here. They've gotten Crowder, they've gotten Hill, and they've gotten one more guy in there, Iguodala. Yeah, so the minutes are going to be spread out amongst those bench players. They are without Butler. They're without Hero. They're without Leonard and Alexander. Those are the normal guys, but Butler's out tonight.
And then no Justice Winslow.
Yeah, no Winslow. So it's a different picture. It's very interesting. Again, we kind of have to sit back and see how these guys kind of mesh. But the thing is with Crowder, he's only projected 20 minutes. Iguodala's only projected at 17. Hill's only at 4, so it shouldn't affect the rotations too much. But again, when they get on the floor, are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to be involved in the offense whatsoever? Is Crowder going to sit in the corner like he did in Memphis? We don't really know. So, I assume they're just going to be playing street ball once they get out there. There's not going to be really too much going on there. I think as far as the Miami picture, I would still load up on the guys that make sense, when Butler's off the court. So somebody like Dragic bodes well on their sheet, 29 minutes, 5.9. Adebayo averages 1.75 fantasy points per minute, which is like insane. It's a small sample size, but again, he's projected at like 6% ownership. I'm not saying he's a cash option, although he could be with that output, but he's projected at 6%, so he could end up being a sneaky GPP option here. Bam Adebayo, a decent matchup against Whiteside. They're going to be going at it. Olynyk here, 24 minutes, obviously productive with the minutes that are given. 3.8, he burned us last time, but again, at 18% ownership, I'm going to take a heavy weight probably on him in GPPs. He got 14 DK points, but I mean, if you go back here, I was just looking at him earlier. That's like the one bad game that he's recently had. I mean, when he played 24 minutes, he got 20, 34, 26 DK points, all hitting value and then some. So again, like Olynyk, another good GPP option. Nunn's in a good spot as well. These guys are all slightly underpriced. And then Dragic, like I said earlier. Who are you interested in Miami? And this is a slight pace-up game, by the way, for them.
Yeah, in terms of cash, I really like Kendrick Nunn again. I think he's in a really good spot at 5.6. He did get a little bit of a price bump, but that really doesn't scare me. He was super aggressive last game against Sacramento. I expect that to continue without Hero and without Jimmy. Averages 1.06 fantasy points per minute. So yeah, I definitely think he's a cash option. I don't know if I'll be locking him in. I'm still trying to tinker and figure out, but I have a lineup with him and one without him. So I definitely like Kendrick Nunn. I also do like Dragic. I don't think he's as cash viable as Kendrick Nunn. I'd rather go with Nunn because I think he's going to get more minutes. But Dragic is definitely more productive when he's on the court. Averages 1.12 fantasy points per minute and gets a little bit of a usage bump as well. So I definitely don't think those are bad landing spots for cash as a last piece. I'd rather go Nunn over Dragic tonight. You mentioned Bam. Yeah, I mean, he bodes well on our sheet. I think you need to take it with some caution just because of, the sample size is so minimal. Played really well against Sacramento, too. Got 37 minutes. He shot 12 of 16. He just didn't really have any too much of those punt statistics. He normally gets like a steal a game, a lot of blocks. He didn't get a double-double, so if he gets a couple more rebounds, it would have been a great night for him against Sacramento. So definitely a GPP option for sure. Olynyk scares me just because the minutes that he played last game, he started the first half and didn't get a run for the rest of he started the game, didn't get a run for the rest of the first half when he came out. I forget what he did in the second half. I'm pretty sure it was the same thing. I had the popcorn machine up earlier and I closed out of it for some reason, even though I knew I was going to backtrack to it. Where is it?
I want to reiterate that if Olynyk does get the minutes, he's a great play, but that's a question mark here.
Yeah, that's the one thing I am scared about. Yeah, so he almost played the whole first quarter. He played 10 minutes in the first quarter, didn't come back in the first half, and then he started the second half, played 9 minutes, and then didn't see the floor. So
who'd they play in their last game?
Say it again.
Who'd they play?
Sacramento.
Okay.
So that's the one thing that kind of scares me a little bit, but new game playing up against Portland, might need his size a little bit more. So we'll definitely have to see. But, we have Iguodala taking a couple minutes, not potentially from him, but just getting some minutes in the rotation now. We got Crowder getting some minutes in the rotation. So definitely tread lightly with Olynyk, but I definitely do like him as a GPP play because if the minutes are there, he is very productive. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think that Nunn is a good cash play. Dragic, okay. I'd rather go with Nunn over Dragic, but I think they're both okay for last spot landing spots. I like Bam as a GPP play, and then I would tread lightly with Olynyk, but if the minutes are there, I definitely like him.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I think these guys are more GPP options. Like you said, Nunn's going to carry more ownership, too. He's in a good matchup. Perform well against guards there in Portland. So, yeah, it's a pace-up spot, too.
Derrick Jones Jr. got a huge bump, but he'll be very low on, so I don't mind taking a stab at him, too, just because I think his minutes are just kind of solidified. But
yeah, another player that we didn't touch base on, Duncan Robinson, got that price increase. He's just not that productive of a player. I'm actually kind of scared off of that price tag now, 5.2. If you're talking about somebody in that same price range, which is Nunn, Nunn's fairly more productive than Duncan Robinson. So
yeah, just a way higher usage rate too. He has the ball in his hands a lot more. Duncan Robinson's very dependent on knocking down threes. So yeah. I mean, if he gets hot, then look out. But I would rather have Nunn just because it's just more opportunity. He has the ball in his hands more. Duncan Robinson will probably log a couple more minutes, but I would rather have Nunn. I think Nunn's a safer play.
I agree completely. Guys, if this is your first time to the stream, thank you so much for showing your support. Again, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Guys, we want to see you back in the streams. If you are new to the stream, feel free to ask any questions. We will get to them by the end of the stream. Who do you want to go to next? I feel like we can go anywhere. You want to go to the high over-under game here in Memphis?
We can just touch base on Portland quick.
Okay. You love staying in the same game. I'll keep that going. Yeah.
Might as well. I don't...
Makes sense. All right, so... yeah, Trevor Ariza here, 3.6 now. He got the heavy price decrease because he hasn't been doing well. I mean, he hasn't been doing well at all. Thank you for the subscription, Anthony. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so Trevor Ariza, I mean, I feel like it's a huge price decrease though. 3.6. He's still out there. I'll say that he's still playing basketball. I mean, if this dude gets hot, he could end up being a good GPP play. I'll strictly say that he does still build well on our sheet. Was he averaged 0.7 fantasy points per minute in 32 minutes? So I mean, yeah, obviously just a shooter. Trevor Ariza got thrown out of the last game. I guess that really was affected into his Draftkings pricing here. I don't know, I guess. But again, he could end up being a good GPP option. Again, it's a pace-up spot, so that will benefit somebody like Ariza to get more shots up. Whiteside, if he does play, is probable. Whiteside, another great play here. 7.6. He's going to be more on the pricey side, or the chalky side. Thank you, Tyrem, for the subscription. Whiteside, Anthony got the price decrease here. Really, everybody got a price decrease. The only people I'm really not looking at here is McCollum and maybe Lillard. But Ariza, Whiteside, and Anthony are showing very underpriced on their sheet. Again, all these guys are good GPP options just because of the high over-under. Who are your favorite players from this game?
So I actually think a lot of these guys are cash viable tonight.
Okay.
I think Whiteside's definitely a lock for me tonight at 7,600. I think that's way too cheap of a price tag for him and a pretty good over-under game. And I kind of do like the matchup against Bam. So averages 1.34 fantasy points per minute with all those guys off the court that they got rid of. And that are, still out. So I definitely like Whiteside if he's in. He is probable. So another one of my cash locks along with Paul George tonight. I mean, I don't hate Dame. I don't really hate McCollum either. I think Melo might carry the most ownership next just because of that 4,900 price tag. He hasn't been very efficient since they brought on Trevor Ariza.
Right.
Even with Ariza getting kicked out and him playing 38 minutes against Utah, he had 14 DraftKings points. That's absolutely insane.
Right.
Hasn't been shooting the ball well. It is a kind of a risky play, but at 4,900, I don't hate him. Dame at 10.2, I think he's cash viable too. Averages 1.48 fantasy points per minute. Just him and McCollum against Utah were so gas late in the game because just the minutes that they were playing were absurd. They both played 43 minutes. I don't think McCollum came out in the second half. Dame came out for 20 seconds. So fatigue is definitely a factor late in the game for those two guys. But if they're going to play 40 minutes, that's crazy. 40 minutes for guys with that skill, I definitely think both of them are cash viable. But I think Whiteside carries a really, really heavy amount of ownership tonight. I think Dame carries some. I think Melo does. I mean, Ariza and McCollum. I think they're all cash viable, but the one guy I'm 100% locking in is Whiteside. But yeah, definitely good GPP plays. All those starters, they're all going to see, surplus of minutes. And Ariza at 3,600, I mean, only averages 0.64 fantasy points per minute since he's come to the Trailblazers. Got kicked out last game against Utah, but he's a 5.7 on our sheet just because of the minutes. So he's probably the one guy that I would be the least on in terms of those starters. But yeah, I'm locking in Whiteside for cash. I like Dame. I like McCollum. I like Melo.
I'll say this about Portland too. You got to look at their previous 4 games too. With the exception of San Antonio, they played Utah, Denver, Utah again, and the Lakers, which are all pace down spots for Portland. So take it with a grain of salt. All of these DraftKings prices are so low because of their previous performances. Those are all good defensive matchups except for the Spurs. So, I mean, these guys are in a prime spot to take off as far as DK point production, and I really do like these guys, especially for GPPs tonight. They have a lot of upside. Again, 116 pace-up spot for Portland. So yeah, that's our take on Portland. Again, guys, I'll be wrapping up all my favorite plays at the very end of the stream. So bear with us here. We'll get to all your questions. We'll make sure we answer a majority of them here. Do you want to go again to the Memphis Washington game? I feel like that's intriguing for chalk.
Yeah, that's a pretty important game tonight. I'd say.
Okay, so as far as I won't break down all the injuries because all the trade news, but Memphis is without a lot of these guys that they traded, and then their rotations look a little different here. So as far as taking off the guys that we wanted to off the court, the people that stand out the most are Brooks here. Dylan Brooks, I call him the most average player in the NBA because he averages 1 fantasy point per minute and he plays around 30 minutes. At a 4.9 price tag, he's undervalued here in a pace-up spot versus the Washington Wizards. Melton, another great value. I don't know what's going in the background. Is there a storm in the background, TJ? I think it's a fan. There's like a lot of noise in the background. I don't know what it is.
I mean, there's been a fan on the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
As long as it's not bothering you guys. My headset's jacked, so I don't know.
It's been on the legit whole stream. So.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, you're good. I was just confused. I was like, wait, what?
Melton, too. Melton at 24 minutes averages 1.01 fantasy points per minute, 6.1 on our sheet. Kyle Anderson, 28 minutes, 6.1. Pretty productive as well. Again, all these minutes are around the mid-20 range, so any one of these guys could have a good game. A very, very good matchup against the Wizards. Josh Jackson, another one, 21 minutes, could be a GPP flyer. Jaren Jackson, 5.7. I really can't argue with any of these guys in this high over-under. It looks like their price tags haven't been adjusted upward to match this high over-under, because you look at somebody like Ja Morant, we've seen him in the 7K range. Again, 6.3. You're talking about ownership here. All these guys are carrying very high ownership in tournaments. Who are your favorite players from this game?
So, Memphis. Jordan Bell and Gorgie Zhang will be making their Memphis debuts tonight, so that's some minutes in the rotation to them. Probably, 15 each if they even get that. I mean, Gorgie might get 15, probably not. And I don't even know if Jordan Bell will see the court, but just an interesting tidbit. So, I mean, I really like Dylan Brooks at 4.9. That's way too cheap. When I took off, who did I take off? I took off Solomon Hill, Caboclo, Jay Crowder, Grayson Allen off the court. And Dylan Brooks averages 1 fantasy point per minute, but he's projected 32 minutes, so averages a 6.6 on our sheet. So I really, really, really like Dylan Brooks tonight. I'm considering making him one of my cash locks in this really high over-under against Washington. This could be a very, very high-scoring game. Both teams play at a pretty rapid pace so far this year, so I definitely think this is a good target spot for cash and GPPs. Memphis is actually the 5th fastest team in the NBA, so that's definitely trying to find. Oh, that's why the Wizards are 7th. Okay, I was like, wait, I was expecting the Wizards to be like 2 or 3. So, yeah, I definitely really like Dylan Brooks tonight. Kyle Anderson, I don't hate him either at 4,100. Melton, I like Melton at 4K. I mean, these are guys that are going to be playing against, those Wizards guards that rank last in the NBA in terms of guarding guards. Obviously not Kyle Anderson, but Melton and Dylan Brooks. I really like those matchups for them. So I can definitely get between and John Morant. I mean, John Morant doesn't necessarily rate out well on our sheet, but I definitely think he's cash viable at 6,300. I just really like this game. This is a game that I want to be targeting. I want to at least have 3 guys in this game in terms of cash. If I can get 4, I really like that too. So the guys I'm looking at for cash are John Morant, Dylan Brooks. If Kyle Anderson does start, which I expect him to, I don't hate him. And then Melton. Those are the guys that I'll be targeting and overweight on in GPPs and potentially having them in my cash lineup.
And somebody, I don't know if you mentioned Val. I don't think you did, but Val is also, I mean, he could be GPP viable at this point just because they're without Thomas Bryant. So, I mean, really everybody in this game is just GPP viable. And yeah, like you said, Dylan Brooks is probably definitely, I mean, he's going to end up probably being a cash lock, right? And John Morant's going to carry heavy ownership. Melton's going to carry heavy ownership, and same thing with Jaren Jackson. So I think this is a safe bet if you're looking for fillers, for sure. This is a safe bet. You can target this game, both sides of the ball, but more importantly, Memphis. Let's go right over to Washington. So Washington, we have McRae out. Sorry, I don't have all the injuries pulled up. We have Bryant out, John Wall, of course, and then I'm missing one more.
Smith. I'm sorry, IT.
IT, that's who it is. Yeah, so Troy Brown, probably the most played person this season for me in GPPs. Troy Brown, 4.7, comes out to a 6.1. I'm looking here, 29 minutes. Of course, if he does get those minutes, I do like Troy Brown for GPPs. Davis Bertans, 5.8, also not. I forget, I'm already missing the pronunciation on Rue. I pronounced it last on stream, but now I'm drawing a blank. 31 minutes here, 5.5. Bradley Beal's also going to carry some ownership. Chalk. Should be chalky.
Hachimura? Is that what you're talking about?
Hachimura. Yeah, that's right. I was drawing a blank. Yeah. Hachimura. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
Unbelievable last game.
Yeah. And then the percentage ownership drops off after Bradley Beal. Are you targeting any one of these guys outside of GPPs?
If I am, it's in cash. Well, obviously it's in cash. Outside of GPPs, what do you mean? If it is, it's Beal. Just because, we allude to this all the time. If you want to stack one team, it's always nice to come back with somebody else. So if I do end up rostering John Morant, Dylan Brooks, and maybe Melton, Jaren Jackson, Kyle Anderson, as a third guy from Memphis, it would be nice to come back with Bradley Beal. So that's kind of where my thought process is right now. I definitely like Bertans and GPPs. We like to take shooters in these type of games. So 5,500 could check up a bunch of threes. So I like Bertans as a GPP play. I'm not that. I mean, Troy Brown rates well on our sheet, but I'm not like super high on him. So I'm gonna say that I don't really like him, and I hope that he snaps because I know you're gonna be overweight on him.
Slightly.
So I don't like Troy Brown tonight. So we'll see how that goes back. I think with Hachimura coming back, I think that hurts him a little bit in his productivity. I also think Ish Smith starting to might hurt him a tad bit because Smith isn't there rolling with him with that second unit. It's Shabazz, and I don't think they have the chemistry yet. So yeah, I definitely think if it's anybody for cash, it's coming back with Bradley Beal and taking 3 or 4 guys from this game with cash and going from there.
Yeah, I can agree. With that. Next game. Who are we missing for injuries? Anybody else? I feel like we covered the majority of them.
One guy I didn't touch base on, actually.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Memphis is Josh Jackson. I think if I do want to play somebody that is super cheap to try and fit some of these studs, like if I can somehow roster Embiid, either Westbrook or Bradley Beal, I think I would go Bradley Beal at this point. Paul George and Whiteside, if I can get somebody like Josh Jackson, who I think would be my play at 3K, just because I think the minutes are going to be there and it's a really good spot against Washington. I think that's who I would take my chance on, and just hope he gets me 15, 18 points, because if he hits value, I'm in a great spot with all those studs, and then I can still fill in, Dylan Brooks and maybe Kendrick Nunn or something like that.
Next, I want to talk about Houston. Do you want to go there?
Sure.
Okay. So Houston, we're still pinning that injury news with Eric Gordon. I believe he's still questionable. Chat, help me out if that's still true. Of course, of course, we're taking off Capella because he's traded, and we know that the picture slightly changes. James Harden's been struggling as of late. He's been in the last game he got absolutely blown out. Right, I think that was the last game against Phoenix. Yeah. So that ended up hurting us a lot because I was overweight on Harden that night. So if we take a step back, we look at this picture with Eric Gordon on the court here. Covington's been averaging over a fantasy point per minute now. He's been fairly productive since the time he's been in Houston. I don't mind him as a GPP option. It's actually showing he's going to carry a decent amount of ownership, which is pretty surprising with it being against Utah. Westbrook is still there. He still bodes well on a sheet without Capella. 9.8 got a price decrease. 5.5 at least on my sheet. James Harden also 5.5. I guess it's going to be a toss-up between those two. James Harden's going to be lower owned just because he is more pricey. James Harden, I've heard a lot of Russell Westbrook. I've heard a lot of Westbrook today. So I think everybody else after that, though, is kind of a drop-off if Eric Gordon does play. Is there anybody that you're looking at here for cash? Are you looking at Covington for cash?
No.
Okay.
I think, Covington's first game, he obviously played very well against the Lakers. So I think you need to take his production so far in his 2 games with Houston, for Houston with a grain of salt. So I'll definitely have some exposure to him in GPPs. When I first woke up, I had him in my cash lineup, and then I looked at stuff and was like, what are you thinking? So no, I'm not going to have Rocco in terms of cash, but GPPs for sure. I really like Westbrook tonight at 9,800. I would rather go Westbrook over Harden, especially off a day's rest. For me, if I think I'm locking in Paul George, Embiid, and Whiteside as 3 of my cash locks. So those are 3 obviously pretty pricey guys. So if I do go up, it's either going to be, if I do want to get a 4th stud, it's either going to be Westbrook or Beal. It's tough to make that happen and work because you're going to need some value. So that's why I kind of alluded to Josh Jackson as a potential, a cheapie that might be able to get you value, especially because the minutes are going to be there. But he won't carry too high of ownership, so it's definitely a risky play. But yeah, I think for me, I really like Westbrook. I would go Westbrook over Harden tonight just because I like the day's rest, and you're saving 2K. And I mean, Westbrook's been way more productive than Harden over the last 10 games. So obviously James Harden's way more capable when he gets going. But I like the way Westbrook plays. I like the matchup against Utah. I feel like he's gonna come out just slinging against Donovan Mitchell. So. Yeah, we're also pending Eric Gordon, so if he's out, that could get some more minutes for somebody like Austin Rivers, Ben McLemore, but nobody that I really want to have any exposure to in terms of cash. So yeah, for me, I think it's between Westbrook and Beal as a pretty good cash play. I think they're both pretty cash viable, but.
Yeah, and they're showing Houston at 117 here, which isn't bad at all. I mean, that's still a decent over-under for them. So it's a slight pace down spot, but again, like if Eric Gordon is out for sure, these guys could easily hit their value. Westbrook and Harden. Again, they're showing very low ownership here at 15 and 9% for Harden. So I might just be overweight just because he's 9% on Harden. I mean, we know how big of a payoff Harden can be if he does hit value. So yeah, I can agree with you. I think it's more of a GPP option though for sure. Do you want to go right over to Utah? Is there really anybody to talk about? There's no injuries here, but there's some underpriced players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Donovan Mitchell at 7,300. Not a cash play. I don't hate Ingles at 4,500 just because the minutes are there. But I don't really have any interest in any of these guys in terms of cash. If I were to take one, it would be Donovan Mitchell. If you remember in playoffs, obviously before Westbrook was on Houston, him and Mitchell kind of went back and forth in that playoff series when Utah played OKC. So I definitely think that's gonna bring out the best in Donovan Mitchell. So I definitely like him as a GPP play. I think he might carry a little bit of ownership tonight, but not a cash play for me. But definitely a good GPP play in Ingles. Those are the 2 guys that I would be targeting from Utah tonight.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think there's really too much else to talk about. They have Royce O'Neal here at 27 minutes, but we know how he is, not very good. So, I mean, if you're looking for another GPP dart, sure. What's up?
Great defender.
Yeah.
Great defense. But
as far as DK goes, yeah, I mean, still.
I didn't even run numbers. I don't even run numbers for Royce O'Neal anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's around 0.6.
1 per minute, so.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I think you just covered everybody that we're going to talk about. So, do we want to go to Chicago, Philly? Do you want to talk about Philly with Embiid? I know you mentioned them throughout the entire stream.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Embiid, I mean 8.2. I guess we can just say that. I think you guys get it. 8.2 is very underpriced for somebody like Embiid.
Oh.
He's in a prime matchup against Chicago. Yeah. Why is he 8.2?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, he's 8.2 because he doesn't play, and when he plays, he's soft, and when he actually does play, he leads the game. So,
He's wearing the Boston jersey. If you guys couldn't see it, so
I mean, he is soft. I'm not. It's not like I'm making this up.
no, I
He's
know.
super soft. He got smoked by Giannis when they played Milwaukee. He shot 6 of 26, and then against Memphis, he hurts his neck and doesn't come back in. Like, he's soft.
Yeah.
I'm not making it up. I mean, if you guys disagree with me, then you guys are crazy. He's soft.
And then you're looking at somebody like Horford also in a good matchup because of the center play in Chicago. I think everybody else I'm not really intrigued by. I mean, what's his face is back. Richardson's back. They have Glenn Robinson in the rotation now to truck up shots, and Ben Simmons is 8.6. I think the only guy I'm really looking at here is Embiid and maybe Horford for GPPs.
Yeah, I'm locking in Embiid and cash. I think he's going to be very high owned and rightfully so going up against Chicago in a really big smash spot. So definitely going to be chalky. So another one of my cash locks.
Let's go over to Chicago. So Chicago has a mess of injuries. At least it looks like it on the sheet, right? But I mean, a lot of these guys are probable.
Like Archie Diacono.
I'm not even saying that.
Gafford, Hutchinson, Satoransky. They're always questionable. It's Archie Diacono. I can actually pronounce that.
I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, don't try it. It's like me trying to pronounce the S word. So yeah, the only guy I'm really waiting on is Gafford because I feel like that gives an uptick in minutes to somebody like Hutchinson. So I think that's interesting. And obviously we're pending Zach LaVine, which would be huge if he's out. So although I don't like the matchup against Philly, I mean, if LaVine's out, that's going to open up a world of
usage for sure.
Yeah. So like if he's out and Satoransky's in, I think that would make Satoransky a really good play. I think Kobe White might start. Like he would be a lock if LaVine's out, I would assume. So we're gonna have to wait and see what's going on with LaVine, and then kind of go from there. So that's actually the only team I haven't run numbers on so far because we're still pending a pretty significant amount of injuries and. Yeah, like I said, if LaVine's out, I mean, he didn't practice yesterday, so.
Real quick, somebody said trying to get people to take Embiid, but then saying you locking him and then saying he sucked. Listen, at 8.2, he's still a great player, guys. He's just soft. That's all we're saying.
I mean, he's
a fantastic ball player. He's one of the best centers in the league.
I'm not saying he sucks. He's soft.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. So yeah, I think Hutchinson's gonna be honestly right now he's still boding well on their sheet. 4% ownership is unreal for Hutchinson playing 30 minutes. If Zach LaVine is out, I mean, like you said, so much opportunity. You know that regardless of the matchup, we love taking people in tight rotations with a lot of usage to go around. So I mean, this is gonna shake up the entire picture. We probably will get that injury news before the stream stops. So that's the good news because it does start at 6. So luckily we'll be able to break that down further for you guys, but as of right now, I think Hutchinson's the only. I mean, he's still projected 30 minutes as of right now, 4.6. Okay, so I mean, a good GPP flyer. But yeah, the rest of the team we're definitely gonna have to break down here in a few, hopefully 15 minutes or so. So, Knicks, Atlanta. Do you want to talk about them? I feel like there's nobody to talk about in those games.
Well,
yeah, maybe
Clark
so.
Morris is gone, so like I don't hate Randall as a GPP play. RJ Barrett, if he gets the uptick in minutes, I mean, at 4,600, I don't hate him. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like bursting at the seams to talk about the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks today, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in anybody from these games. I mean, Damian Jones is projected 24 minutes showing at 3.4K. I guess if you want to take a stab at him.
Well, Bruno Fernando's back, so I think that eats into his minutes a little bit.
Yeah, they're showing him at 9 minutes. I mean, I really don't have any interest. I'm not going to recommend anybody from this game.
Fernando is set. His minute restriction's 15, so I think I wouldn't expect I mean, maybe Damian Jones plays 24, but yeah, I don't have any interest in these guys. I mean, Trae Young is a GPP play. I don't hate that.
But before we get the question on Elfrid Payton being a good GPP play just because he's been playing unreal, I mean, it's been strictly based on stealing, right? I mean, that's why he's been so great lately. Yeah, he got 7 steals in that one game against Orlando, 2 steals. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind. I get that, but I mean, 7.5 guys. I mean, there's a lot of different options in that price range. If you're looking for somebody like in the Memphis game in that same price range, I mean, if you're contesting almost Paul George at that point at 8.3. So, I don't have any interest in that game. I'll just say that.
Deion Waiters got waived by the Grizzlies.
By the who?
Waived Grizzlies.
Oh wow.
IT got it. He got waived by the Clippers. Poor guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back to Boston.
Needs revenge. All right. So I think that covers everything. Do you want to just start breaking down questions and start giving just a rough overview of the slate?
Some of the people that DM us and like demand things it's absolutely hysterical.
What, right now?
Yeah, just some people have like the biggest nerve, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, guys, I just want to touch base on the topic real quick. If you guys are watching the videos from the morning and then not joining the live stream and then coming back and saying my plays were horrible, please don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. I update picks throughout the day, and we update picks on the live stream. I can't go back and re-upload a video before lock. That doesn't make sense. If we're just gonna, yeah,
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't predict the future. So for you guys that are doing that, please stop doing that. It's actually kind of hurtful. Well, first of all, it's hurtful. Second of all, it's not smart. It's not logical. You guys need to join the live stream. All right, I say it in every video.
Super sensitive, so be nice to him, okay?
I'm the new Joel Embiid.
You're doing great, sweetie. Yeah, you are soft.
Okay.
Embiid's softer.
All right, hold on. I'm turning the light here because I can't read my stuff. All right. So I just did 150 crunches here. Obviously, these exposures are not going to be accurate for everybody that wants an accurate exposure breakdown. I'm going to be updating Patreon here in about 30 minutes or so. So Paul George is going to top the list. Paul George, good chalk. Adebayo is one of my favorite GPP options. Joel Embiid is both good in GPP and cash. I think Paul George and Embiid need to be your cash locks. Dylan Brooks, another great play. Cash and GPP. Covington, I'm going to say GPP only. Dragic, GPP, none. Cash and GPP. I'm going to draw the line there. TJ, what are your thoughts on the list I just said?
I mean, I'm on board with everybody you just said.
Okay.
100%.
What are your cash locks?
Say it again.
What are your cash locks? Sorry.
I'm locking Paul George, Embiid, probably Dylan Brooks, and Whiteside. I mean, and then see the one thing with Whiteside is like, do I go maybe Russ or Beal instead, and then buy down at center, or just take Embiid at center and then grab a different util? Because I mean, if I have Embiid and Whiteside, that's my center and my util eligibility. But yeah, I love Embiid. Embiid's a lock. Paul George is a lock. Dylan Brooks is a lock. And then choosing, I really, really, really like Whiteside, so he'll probably end up being a lock for me. But then choosing between Westbrook and Beal, and if I can make that happen, I think that would be super ideal. But I definitely don't hate Melton as the last piece in cash. Yeah, there's not enough value just down. Oh, I like Kendrick Nunn too as cash. I just completely glossed over him. There's not enough value in order to get those four of those studs tonight, unfortunately, unless I go like Josh Jackson, which is not ideal, but I don't hate it, and I think it's a viable option. I just don't know if I'll be doing it. But yeah, that's kind of my thought process right now.
Yeah, for everybody that's looking at my screen and seeing Whiteside at the bottom here, that's just because Adebayo is so fluctuated at the top here. I mean, so what's the word I'm looking for? I've inflated his DK points so much. So Adebayo, just a GPP option, I'd say. If you're picking centers tonight, it's Whiteside and Embiid for cash. I'll say that.
Yeah.
All right, TJ, let's go to answer some questions now. I think we covered everything.
Let's do it.
Pending any injury news. All right, you want to start at the top? I'll start at the bottom.
Yeah, if you want me to. Sorry, I'm looking at something real quick.
All right.
Oh, that's the. What are you doing? Yeah, see, it's so.
I'm reading up here. What's up?
I almost kind of hope that Levine's out.
I know, me too. Because there's value, but there's not obvious value at this point.
I think your obvious value is like Dylan Brooks.
Or Melton.
Yeah, Melton. I think those are your plays. I mean, like coming back with.
Matt didn't predict Ingram and Gordon to get hurt. Yeah, what the heck, Matt? Yeah, those were the two plays. I think I honestly got roasted for Gordon the other night. And it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dude,
the fact that the cash lineup I made 2 nights ago had Eric Gordon. He played 9 minutes, and I still cashed in one. And I was on if Dragic was like somewhat productive in the fourth quarter. He didn't do anything. He didn't do it. He had 19.25 at half and finished with 25.
Yeah.
So we still had a chance to cash and cash. Like I said, I did cash in one of my tournaments or one of my contests, but Eric Gordon plays. It's easy cash. It's tough.
Do you guys think I'm assuming you meant what how many players do you guys think is too many from Memphis and Washington? Okay. Good question. You're talking about I'm assuming you're talking about for cash. Too many. There's like a lot. All right, so I would grab Joel Embiid. That's going to take away one of your roster spots. I'm going to take away the obvious guys and Whiteside and Embiid. Paul George. Honestly, other than those guys, I feel like there's not really good chalk anywhere else. You could probably stack 6 players from that game. I'm not saying it's a good option. I'm just saying that it could be viable if you can get those guys in there. If you're talking about from those players, how many players can you roster in DraftKings? It's 9, right? 9 or 8?
8.
Is it 8?
Yeah. FanDuel
okay, then 5. Yeah, so you can play about 3 Memphis guys, including Dylan Brooks, and then 2 from Washington. I'd be fine with that. I don't see why not. But I'm high on these guys from Portland too. Portland and Miami. I mean, you can go either way for those guys. All right. I don't see too many questions actually. Conley question mark. All right, let's look at Conley. Conley 30 minutes, 5.4K. Yeah, you're right. He has been playing a lot of minutes. Who is that taking in place of?
Who is it taking in place of? He's starting over Royce O'Neal now.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. But Royce O'Neal showing in 27 minutes.
In terms of minutes.
Okay. Well, let me look at this. So, do you have their starting lineup in front of you?
What?
Utah.
Yeah, it's Conley, Mitchell, Ingles, Bogdy, and Gobert.
So Mitchell, okay. Put down the bench. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I'm throwing all those guys in the court. Let's see what it looks like. So Mike Conley averages just under a point per minute when those guys are playing together. He's at 5.4. I don't mind him. That's actually not a bad play. If he's actually getting 30 minutes and he stays in the starting rotation, that's not a bad play. I'm not going to recommend him as like a must lock for GPPs or anything, but that's if you want to take a stab at Mike Conley, sure. That makes sense. TJ, you're awfully quiet over there.
I know. I'm falling asleep and I'm tinkering with my lineups.
Okay. Hutch moving up a little bit in ownership. Yeah, I mean he's not a bad play. Hutchinson's a great play tonight for sure, and GPPs. Taj Gibson's playing 15 minutes. I have no interest in him. I don't think Taj Gibson's viable. Against Atlanta, maybe. I mean, no. I don't have much interest in Taj Gibson tonight.
Why? Taj Gibson's nasty.
Because Taj Gibson's probably one of the most irrelevant centers I've ever seen.
Oh man, that's so disrespectful. My guy.
I mean, he used to be good, but he's been falling off.
Is it because he's bald?
Might be it.
He's a beast. Crazy.
I think Conley hurts Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, like that's why the prices have gone down in Utah so much.
Yeah, sure. You get 2 ball handlers now.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at the Utah picture, they're all. I mean, all the price tags are soft now. It makes sense. Gobert back up to 8K. That's frustrating. Need some good value plays. Who are some good value plays? All right, let's look. I'm gonna break it down. What's up?
I said so do I.
So Josh Jackson is rating the best on our sheet here at 21 minutes.
Yeah, that's the one guy that you want to probably attack.
Yeah,
it's a value.
Per value, yeah. Olenek, we touched base earlier, but again, if he's not getting 24 minutes, it's a huge if. So Olenek's definitely a GPP option, though. More value, more value. Hutchinson, we mentioned Dylan Brooks, obviously the most chalky value play tonight. And Melton. Melton's a great value play.
Yeah, I feel like Memphis are the value guys that you want to go for. Like Dylan, I mean, if you want to call Dylan Brooks sub 5K value, then I think he is tonight. Yeah, I really like him at 49. Melton at 4K, definitely good. I don't hate Ingles at 4,500. I don't hate Ariza at 3,600. And then Josh Jackson's the guy that I'm just super on the fence about.
Is Harden a must-play today? Absolutely not. I think we only mentioned him for GPP at this point, only carrying 9% ownership. He's absolutely not a must-play.
Yeah.
Who do you think scores more, Westbrook or Harden? Obviously, as far as stats go, Harden should score more points.
I got Westbrook.
I do like Westbrook tonight too, though. I mean, always.
Embiid, right side. Embiid.
Are you reading from the top?
I just looked up and saw something.
Okay.
I like Lou with Bev and Leonard out. Yeah, his minute is weird.
Fernando tonight for value. No, he's only getting 9 minutes according to Roto. Cavs. What's up?
He'll get 15.
Cavs Clippers blowout. No, they don't have a good blowout percentage here. It's not Lakers. Clippers actually moved up. They moved up from 117 to 118, but it's only a 6-point spread as of right now. Let the man have his fan. I'm sorry, TJ.
What? Yeah. Wait, you coming at me with the fan, dude? I'm trying to stay up. I'm exhausted. Got the fan going on. You make it seem like I'm reporting live from a hurricane. Like, I don't know.
I thought it was rain.
Don't sleep on Lillard tonight. Yeah, I'm going to be overweight on Lillard for GPP's 100%. He's got to come out with some vengeance tonight.
Jones Jr. or Ariza? Ooh.
That's
for cash or GPP? Because I feel like I would take Ariza for GPPs because he has more minutes.
I think that's a FanDuel question.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's got to be because Ariza's 36, Derek Jones is 49. I would go Ariza for cash, and I would go Derek Jones for GPP. That'd be that's how I would handle that. But
I think Ariza's going to be sneaky tonight. I mean, like I said earlier, you got to look at the previous matchups. It was just really bad, really good defensive teams. I mean,
well, yeah, and he got kicked out. I mean,
and he got kicked out.
But no, that's what I'm saying. I think Ariza's safer for cash.
Yeah.
At 3,600, the minutes are going to be there. No Simons, he's out with a concussion, most likely. So, just more minutes to go around.
Bam Adebayo or Rudy Gobert? Adebayo has a lot of the usage going to him. Obviously, we said he averages 1.75 fantasy points per minute. It's a small sample size. It's actually not as small as we thought. It's like over 150 minutes or so. So it's actually not that small, but. Bam Adebayo rates well on their sheet, and I think just because of his ownership, it's very intriguing.
One guy that is also interesting for Portland is Gary Trent Jr., especially if Simons isn't good to go. He logged 38 minutes against Utah, but that was strictly because of Ariza left the game. But if he plays 30 minutes, I definitely don't hate him at 3,800. He's got to shoot, so decent GPP play.
Yeah, he's been shooting really well, too. 6 for 13, 6 for 7. It's not bad. Okay. Morant breakout for sure. Morant's been playing pretty poorly, actually, of late, which is why his price tag is so low. But yeah, if there's a breakout game, it's tonight.
Yeah, real good matchup.
Any Melton tonight? Yeah, we like Melton tonight, for sure. I think as of right now, if the slate were to lock right now, I would take Melton in a decent amount of my lineups. And cash. TJ, is he showing up in your cash lineup right
now? He's definitely a floater. I'm not sure yet. I haven't made up my mind. But yeah, I think he's cash viable at 4K in a slate that you need value. Oh, Ed Davis just got ruled out.
Oh, that's a slate breaker right there.
That's gonna give Gobert a huge usage bump, man.
For people who don't get your sarcastic remarks, people could really look at that and they're going to go all in on Rudy Gobert. The ownership's going to be driven up by what TJ just said.
Imagine that.
Drummond with the Cavs, what about that? Yeah, we touched base on that earlier. Drummond, I mean, if you want to take a stab at him, but again, we don't know how that rotation is going to go. We don't know how it's going to look for usage. I don't like taking players that I have no idea what's going to happen with because it's just not logical. I mean, sure, it could pay off for you, but again, people are excited to play Drummond on a different team. That's just how people work. But I'm going to avoid him. You could take a stab at him. I'm not going to hate you for it.
People are asking about Shabazz at 4,800. Played 18 minutes in his season opener for the Wizards against Dallas. He was very productive. So I definitely don't. He had a 29% usage rate too. So I definitely don't hate him as a GPP play. I'm not going to have any exposure. Like he's not going to make my cash lineup. But for GPPs in this matchup against Memphis, I definitely don't hate taking stabs at him.
For anybody new to the stream, guys, thank you so much for your support. Please hit that subscribe button and please hit that notification bell. We want to make sure that we're getting all of our videos, all of our insight to you guys. And of course, live before lock, we always give you guys an edge, especially for NBA because of all the late-breaking injury news. So thank you so much for showing your support. And ask any questions because we still have a decent amount of time left, 14 minutes here. I'm still awaiting that Chicago news. Obviously, we're all waiting for that.
Did you see Grant? Wait, did I just hear a Gary Trent Jr.?
That's funny.
That was my boy Devo that asked me about Gary Trent. There's your shout out, Dev.
I went all the way to the top, so I think I covered all the questions, but I'm going to the bottom now.
You're heavy on Embiid. What about Simmons? I definitely like Simmons' price tag, but like with Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson, I'd rather just kind of see how it all pans out. I mean, Simmons, he still should see his high 30 minutes, so I definitely don't hate him. But I think he's a good GPP play. But I'd rather just go with Embiid and cash and be on my way. It's a good matchup for Philly. So,
and I mean, Josh Richardson's back too with 20 minutes. I don't know how that's going to affect things.
Yeah, I don't think that. I would be more interested with like Alec Burks.
Oh yeah, that's true. You know, I completely even forgot about him. But yeah, that's huge. He's a high usage guy.
Yeah. So I mean, might help Simmons, might affect him a little bit. So, yeah.
So who are the cores for tonight? Somebody asked. I think we went over that, but do you want to go ahead and just give that back to him again, TJ?
Yeah. So my core four for cash right now is Dylan Brooks, Paul George, Embiid, and then I'm torn right now. I think Whiteside would be my fourth as of right now, and then I would love to get one of either Westbrook and Beal, but it's so hard to do. It's so hard. I'd have to go Melton. I'd have to take Josh Jackson and like Ariza. So like I don't know if I want to limit myself. Maybe just get the three studs with Paul George, Embiid, and Whiteside. Skip out on Westbrook and Beal, and then kind of go that mid tier with Dylan Brooks, John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, maybe Dragic, something like that. So I'm kind of tinkering and deciding whether or not I want to go complete stars and scrubs or get those three studs and then kind of couple mid-tier fillers because I think the value is tough tonight. Eric Gordon ruled out, so that could be a little bit of value right there.
Oh, you're right. All right, let's do it.
Probably not because we still have Westbrook and Harden, so I don't think that's really going to affect.
It's gonna affect the minutes, if anything. Obviously.
Yeah, it'll give Macklemore more run, Austin Rivers more run, but they're both 3.9, so I don't think that's really gonna put me on them at all. To be honest with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's an 8-man rotation. That's what's scary about that.
Who, Houston?
Yeah. They're only showing 9, unless I miscounted 1, 2.
Well, they have like Chris Clemens and Hartenstein aren't.
Oh yeah, you're right. Forgot about those guys.
I mean, they're not rotation guys, but they're there.
Yeah. No, we know Hartenstein's there. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, value does suck tonight.
Yeah, value's tough.
All right, Conley. This is from Sano. Conley, Melton, Brooks, Jackson Jr., Embiid, Nunn, Paul George, Whiteside, GPP. That's a very safe lineup in general. That might end up being a good cash lineup. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind that for single entry if you want to do that. Definitely jamming as many Memphis players as you can in there like that. Oh yeah, I guess Conley would be the GPP play there. That's the only low-owned guy.
They haven't come out with Paul George being on a minute restriction. So, like, someone just asked about Paul George minute restriction. I don't think he is on one.
I don't think he should be.
Yeah, and especially, I know he's on a back-to-back, but, like, he didn't play a lot of minutes. He didn't play the last 10:45 of the fourth quarter last night. Believe me, I was watching because I rostered him in cash. So, I expect him to play 30-plus tonight. So, I'm not worried about his minutes.
For the new guys here, I want to say that we have two types of products here, paid content. We have our cash lamps that we post to our website, Daily Grind Fantasy. If you guys see at the bottom here of our stream, right there, yeah. If you head over there, you can get our cash lineups. Again, we have different pricing options. We had a couple people ask us from DMs, and then also in the description below the video, we have a Patreon account where I post my favorite GPP plays and who you should be overweight on, who you should match if you want to go underweight on. It's a helpful guide for MME players and for GPP players in general. So if you guys are new, you guys can visit those two different options from us. But of course, we do all this content for free here on the live stream. So if you just want to make your lineups and you're like, whatever, I don't need to pay for you guys, go ahead and just feel free to join all the live streams. And like I said, you can make your own lineups just joining the streams.
Yes. Everything that Matt said was accurate. I'm
not lying. I promise you.
You don't lie. Oh, we got some guys on the website trying to do some sneaky stuff. I am always watching.
Who are the locks for GPP? I don't like locking GPP players. First of all, I like being overexposed to people. I'll say that Paul George I'm going to be very overexposed to. I do like Adebayo, sleepy. Oh my gosh, sneaky option. Embiid I'm going to be overexposed to, and I will say that. Of course, I'm saving the rest for Patreon. I do like Adebayo. I do like Dragic, and I do like Troy Brown. I'll mention him too again. Any love for McLemore now? Let's see what their minutes. Did the minutes update for Houston?
I don't think so. No.
They took out Gordon, but they didn't update the minutes. GPP, Dragic, Beal, Hutchinson, Hachimura, Embiid, Brooks, Ariza. What's P? I don't know what P is at the very end there.
Paul George?
Oh, Paul George. You're right. Yep, he put G13. Okay. Yeah, that's a good that's a good lineup. Beal could definitely be a low-owned player that gets you over the top. Hutchinson, I like for value. Hachimura, yeah, I don't really know what he's going to look like. He averages 0.85 fantasy points per minute with all the current injuries off. So, I mean, fairly productive. He's going to get decent minutes. So, up-pace game. Yeah, I like that lineup.
Beal and Westbrook or Westbrook and Lillard? That's so tough. I think Beal and Westbrook safer for cash. I like Westbrook and Lillard in terms of GPPs.
They'll be lower owned.
I'm actually tempted to switch Nunn to Dragic for GPPs. Yeah, I think Nunn's the cash
Good
play.
pivot.
I think Dragic is the GPP play.
For sure.
He'll be lower owned.
Nunn, Melton, Brooks, Beal, Hutchinson, PG, Adebayo, Hachimura, Whiteside. You guys are coming out with some good lineups. I like that too.
Wait a second. What was that? That was... Oh, that was FanDuel. That's why. Okay. That was 9 guys. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will say this, guys. If you guys are putting FanDuel lineups in here, of course, like, we don't have the pricing in front of us. I'm not going to do a separate stream and a different video for FanDuel just because I want to focus on one platform. It's a lot easier. So if you guys are putting FanDuel lineups in here, I can give you a recommendation based on DraftKings pricing. I just can't give you a recommendation for FanDuel.
Gafford's playing.
Gafford is playing? Okay.
Yeah.
But did we get anything? Yeah.
Levine, are you in or you out? Make up your mind. Someone asked Richardson. Coming back from the injuries, he's on a minute restriction, so I don't have any interest in him. Pick management asked, do you like building around John Collins and Lillard? For GPPs, that's fine, but like I'd rather go Beal and Whiteside for cash. I think those should be similar. Oh my God, I almost had to say it. Yeah. Those should be
same.
Pretty comparable in terms of price.
There you
go. Levine is in.
All right. So that okay. Well, that's good because we have all the recommendations out.
I wanted to roster Kobe White.
So who are we waiting for in these late games? Everybody's good. So, Gordon's the only person that we're waiting on, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Whiteside's probable. Gordon's out. Yeah, that's it. I mean, was Satoransky probable? I'm pretty sure he was probable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Everybody's probable.
So Chicago's got everybody going, but damn.
Yeah. So.
Darn it. Shoot.
All right, I'm going to answer a few more questions. I'm going to make sure we get these minutes updated for Houston, and then I'll update those plays, and I'll give you my recommendations on Houston, and then we'll go ahead and get off here. There's about 5 minutes left on the live stream.
Big Meech, I like that cash lineup for sure.
Duncan Robinson, question mark. I touched base on him. His price tag's a little too high for his productivity at 0.7 fantasy points per minute. So he's just a shooter. Strictly, his production strictly based on shooting against a pace-up spot for them. If you want to take a stab at him, feel free. I'm not a fan of him. I'm a fan of these other Miami guys over him. Kevin or Brooks? Who's Kevin Love? Who's Kevin?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Kevin Porter, Kevin Love, Kevin Herter.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kevins.
Kevin Herter. I would think
Kevin King.
I would feel like he means Kevin Herter or Dylan Brooks. That's my guess. I'd go Dylan Brooks. I feel like they're comparable in terms of price. Getting roasted because I can't say similar.
Yeah, you are getting. Oof.
I can't say it. I don't know what it is. It's my word that I'm not going to say it. Similarity.
You said you're not gonna try to say, and then you do it on stream.
I know.
Who would your third mid-tier player be? I don't know what you mean by that. Am I missing something here?
Third mid-tier player, maybe maybe he's talking.
Third favorite?
Would you consider Dylan Brooks mid-tier? So maybe they're asking that. So like Dylan Brooks, Morant, and Kendrick Nunn would probably be my three. But I don't really know if I know what you're talking about. I keep looking at Covington too, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad.
I know he's not. Reese is sneaking up there too.
Are these minutes not updating? These aren't final, right? Like, House is going to get a bump. So is Austin Rivers, right? Macklemore's only 15?
Yeah, I would have. No, that should change.
Okay. Best GPP center play out of the bio by far. I'm telling you right now, Whiteside and Embiid are going to carry all the ownership. If for some reason one of those guys gets in early foul trouble or they just don't have the game that they should, Adebayo's right there staring at you. Should have a really, really good game today against Portland.
Similarity. I did it.
It's not similarity. Did you say
what?
Similarity? Similarly.
No,
Similarly.
That's not what I'm trying to pronounce. That's not what
Pronounced.
I'm trying to. Yeah, now I can't even say pronounced. I gotta go. I'm getting roasted. I got people DMing me, roasting me, telling me how to pronounce it. People in the chat. Sano's over here trying to hook it up. I know how to say similar. I know how to say similarity. It's just
similarity. That's what you're trying to say? Similarity?
No, similary. Like
okay. Well, you said it right there. You just gotta say it faster.
Well, I can't say it faster.
Okay.
Sorry, keep going.
How many minutes you got for Napier? How many minutes is he projected?
Probably 22, 24.
Napier 22. Yeah. You got right in the... Yeah.
I'd say I like 24.
Collins a good cash play now.
Yeah, no.
Oh, about... What?
It's not a bad spot for Collins, but there's other guys that you want to... Like, I'd rather save $500 and get beat. Hutchinson definitely takes a little bit of a hit now.
Oh, you're building around Lillard and Collins. What would you be? Who would your third be, guys? I mean, I wouldn't recommend building around those two players.
No, he's talking GPPs.
Okay.
Who would your third stud if you're building around?
You gotta go one of the centers.
Lillard. Oh, he said center.
No, I'm saying you got to go to one of those centers, the chalk players.
I would. I think.
I would say Embiid.
Mine would say I'd say Donovan Mitchell.
For what? For a building block?
As a GPP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A building block? Those guys are low owned.
He said I asked about building around Lillard and Collins. Was wondering who your third would be.
Oh, you're talking about from the Lillard perspective, going on the other side of the ball.
What?
Is that what you're referring to? Why would you build around? Why would you build? I'm asking why would you build around Oh, yeah, you're right. Why would you build around Donovan Mitchell?
He's asking. What are you doing?
He's asking for a building block, right?
Right. He said I was. Forget about it. Let's just move past it.
I would put Embiid in there. If that's what you're asking for, another solid play. I'm not getting the question. Missed the thoughts on Napier. No, we're not high on Napier just because of his minutes. Minutes have been updated here. Okay, I'm going to update Houston real quick.
Love's gonna get you again.
Gotta take. It's just Capella.
Play?
It's just Capella and who else? Gordon, right? That's it for Houston.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
My favorite pump play. It's gotta be Vince Carter. No, my favorite pump play tonight. Yikes. It's tough, man. It's tough. There isn't a lot of value. I mean, if you want to call Ingles a pump play at 4,500, I like Ingles. I think if you're looking for like somebody that's real bare minimum, it would be Josh Jackson.
Sorry, I'm calculating over here.
No, you're good. Stud of the night. Stud of the night would be Embiid. Embiid or Paul George, like both of them. Pick management said I'll talk to us. Yeah, thanks, dude. You just got us all. You got me and Matt and I heated at each other.
Yeah, I'm about to punch him in the face right now.
Yeah, good luck punching me through the screen.
Harden and Westbrook's projections are going to change just a tad here, so hold on.
Yeah. Kevin Love and Brooks or Kevin Atlanta and Collins Atlanta. It's tough with Love, just with Drummond. But I really like Brooks. I think Herter, obviously, with Trey back, takes a little bit of a hit. I'd go Kevin Love and Dylan Brooks. But that's tough. Thoughts for cash? None. Brooks, PG, Jaren Jackson, Embiid, Lou, Josh Jackson, Whiteside. I'm not really high on Lou, but I get what you're doing there because they don't have Bev and Kawhi, so I definitely don't hate it. Safer play for tonight in terms of who?
I think we can keep saying Embiid for those questions.
Or for their Jaren Jackson. I'd go Jaren Jackson. Best value tonight, fellas, and why? Need help? Because I got no good service at work. So I need
Appreciate watching the stream at work.
Best value tonight, I would say Dylan Brooks.
All right, I got Houston ready to go here. So I will say that Westbrook, I like Westbrook more now.
Nice. Excellent.
I like Westbrook a little bit more now because Harden's minutes... What's up?
533.
Harden's fantasy points per minutes went down. McLemore's going to be the dart from that game, but he's only at 5.5 still. Again, if you want to take a GPP play. Covington's still our favorite play from that game. It didn't change much as we thought. Yeah, Austin Rivers is below a 5 value, so... Westbrook, I'm going to build some lineups here, and I'm just going to give you guys a final overview. I know we mentioned our favorite plays throughout the entire stream, but just to give you guys one last look, and then we're going to go ahead and get off here. We're a little bit over now. We've gotten thoughts and Duncan Robinson questions. I think we've gotten that 3 times now. I'm not a fan of Duncan Robinson over the other Miami guys. I think there's other options on that team.
He's too shooting dependent. Rather go Nunn and Dragic. If he gets hot, though, Duncan Robinson gets hot, look out.
All right. So did anybody pop? Yeah, Covington's still there at the top. McLemore is literally barely... No. So that didn't switch up much. So it's still going to be Paul George. Adebayo is a good GPP pivot off of those centers if you decide to go elsewhere. Brooks and Embiid are going to be your building blocks. It's going to be George, Brooks, and Embiid are going to be your probably the must-haves tonight. And both GPPs and cash if you want to do single-entry GPPs. Covington's a great play. Dragic, GPP. Hutchinson, still a good GPP play. None, more cash. Melton, good value. And like I said, I'm going to draw the line there. I think that's it. Any final thoughts, TJ?
I'm so tired.
TJ is tired and ready to go. Don't worry, we'll be alive and well tomorrow. Do not worry about that.
Don't worry,
and we
guys.
won't be fighting. I promise.
We will fight.
We'll probably fight.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and get off here. I have to update Patreon as well. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you so much for support. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for our early look video in the morning. And have a great night, guys. Let's cash.